Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. And yeah, before I say anything else, just want to once again apologise for what happened with, I guess, yesterday's stream, although it's technically today's stream. If people don't know, it was practically time to start the stream in question, which is the Gacha review of Senpai Buns' channel. It was actually 4 minutes over the time by the time I got back, but yeah, and then I suddenly, out of nowhere, without warning, changed the time. So it said, this live in 23 hours instead of, you know, live soon. And I kind of like vaguely brushed it off and said, oh, we've got guests. Just want to give a bit more context behind that after this car passes. Yeah, so what happened was I knew that roughly when we got back, there would be one of the good old pub quizzes that we tend to go to once every month. Although apparently they're available once every week. Or something happens. Maybe it's a different event in question. But we only know them to happen once a month. And it just so happened that, yeah, 2 days after we came back, that was what was going on. So as per usual, we got the group together, which it would be myself, my parents, and 2 of my aunts. So yeah, the quiz itself, your typical affair. We actually end up getting 41 points, despite the fact that we were not confident to get above 30 because we had a very bad politics round, because they tried to do something that was kind of relevant to the time, and you know, there's an election results to tomorrow, so yeah, makes a lot of sense. But yeah, it wasn't to do with anything, you know, party specific or to any current events or anything. That was more stuff like, oh yeah, this is how many people were elected prime minister in the 20th century. How many different individuals? The answer is 19, by the way, but yeah, we didn't get that one. So yeah, there were other examples, but yeah, all in all, a pretty normal quiz. And we were much more coordinated this time because we learnt from, you know, dismissing answers that seem bizarre to us personally for writing it down, which was the issue that we had last time, where several people were saying answers that sounded like they were far-fetched, and so they weren't used, and they turned out to be correct. So we learned from that mistake, and we said, oh, if no one's got a better idea, we'll put this one down. And yeah. We didn't win, though. The joint second place people actually got 46.5, so we weren't that far off. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that after that, as we were walking back, you know, basking in the results or going over some of the questions that we got wrong because they read out the answers, or that was while we were marking other people, and you know, that whole rigmarole. I then like stopped in my tracks for a second, because I realised at that moment that well, I remembered at that moment that during the times of the quiz, my aunts tend to spend the night afterwards, and then leave during the morning or early afternoon, which is what happened. Thing is, one of our guest bedrooms is the same room that I normally use to stream. So it wasn't like we could say, oh yeah, you know, can we put you upstairs or something? Well, I'm downstairs, you know, in the room that seems to bother people the least, statistically speaking. No. So couldn't do that, and I wasn't going to be streaming in my room, because that's the issue I've had before, you know, with people having work, or with those same guests not being used to as they've been interrupted having to drive home the next day. So that's why. It was purely a case of me forgetting that I shouldn't have scheduled a stream for that time. So now it's been delayed. And it's not the only thing that got delayed, actually. Because, as it turns out, I get a message from Bon, aka Bonnie the Bunny, to do with the release of the next Secrets of the Plex episode. And I guess this kind of needs context too. So, with stuff like Gacha Review, I either tend to get to do stuff that people have requested specifically, or that I have randomly found, or that I think will have some sort of relevance, you know, with the algorithm. And for example, recently we wrapped up the Music Freaks season 1 reviews, that is. That was because that was on the same day as Rosie Closey put out the spin-off episode. Now, normally that would be a cue for me to watch the spin-off episode itself, as that would get the search results. But because we hadn't watched the last episode, that was the one. So it was Rosie Closey adjacent. Well, not adjacent, it was directly linked. Whatever. You get the idea. Fittingly enough, that's the episode where Sense by Buns actually found me. Found the channel. And yeah, quickly it became apparent that they themselves create other videos, and we shall see those tonight. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So yeah, in that situation, that's something that I do that is algorithmically relevant. And Secrets of the Plex has been quite the same, especially after the meteoric rise of the, well, relatively speaking, of Season 2, Episode 1. Not to mention as well the fact that I brand those videos as, you know, Taylor and Monty's VA, because that helps things. So Bon is fully aware that I employ that strategy. So I guess because of that, their message was that I that they were going to set the episode to come out on Thursday, because they know that I have the Star Kid episode, the Archive reviews on Butter Bunch, on Thursday, and also that what was I going to say? Yeah, so and that today was going to be the delayed video of Sense by Buns rather than Secrets of the Plex, which was always scheduled to come out today. So I apologize for that as well. I am the reason that video is getting delayed, but thank you to Bon as well for doing that, because again, it helps, because if you don't know, the cycle of YouTube videos' earliest promotion is about 48 hours. So yeah, I'll just be entering that range at that particular time. So yeah, it's quite interesting. I mean, you know, obviously with Gacha Review we haven't done too much recently because we've been saving up on internet usage whilst away. So that means that, of course, there's a backed up pile of a bunch of other things. Secrets of the Plex was a bit of a unique case because that was naturally, you know, that was always planned. But yeah, there were other things, like, for example, you know, some requests for new pop stuff. I found out that not one but 2 Eurovision Pops episodes came out today. Although that might be another double feature, which is interesting considering that it's the episodes 2 and 3, so not sure if that's time for double feature. Then again, the original Disco Box Revival double feature was episodes 4 and 5, so yeah, who knows, honestly. There are plenty of things I guess you can think about there. There you go, that's the pudding we were in. Good old Pavilion. Not sponsored, but there you go. Is there a... oh, we can't see it from here. Never mind, let's go see the opening times. But yeah. We, sorry, I got distracted by what was in front of me and just trying to pick the best path. So, So yeah, with regard to review being in that regard, there's also of course the spin-off itself, and just another few random requests. Aiden found a Gacha Life 2 series that somebody has made, which it's to do with elements or something. So yeah, again, I'm very curious about how that's going to be carried out. But yeah, there's a lot to think about, and a lot to do. And of course, again, there's the idea of like how many projects I was trying to do whilst away, but you know, we only have enough time to do catch up from without the endless cycle of driving lessons, which is interesting because today actually I went downstairs. I was ready with my my camera and stuff for filming, because normally after driving lessons I end up going, but yeah, it just seemed like my mum was on the impression that I would just go do Walking Wednesday and that was it. Even though yesterday she said that we might be doing something tomorrow, which would have meant today. So yeah, not sure about that really. But hey, I've been saying for some time, I said on one of these videos actually, that I would much rather if I wasn't doing driving lessons every day, because that's usually the first big event for me, and then I come back and I will get food. And I won't want to do something immediately, which means that I have less time, that I am in the right headspace to do anything else, whether it's related to YouTube or other important stuff. And then afterwards, it's stream time, or it's call time or something. It doesn't leave me much room for much at all, and that's been the case for most of the year. So yeah, I am. And not to mention as well that every day other than like the first day back, I've had a lesson with the actual instructor, because we implied that we were going to have a lesson on the first, and then we officially arranged it. But then afterwards, despite the fact that normally after those lessons I end up I have a conversation with a guy and say like, okay, when are we next available, or when's a good time? And it's usually within the next week, because he's got other people. Turns out this time, because I guess we've been away for a month, my mum decided to have a conversation with him, and then somehow, I don't know why this came up, but he had an available space the day after, so the 2nd. Not sure if that was prompted by an actual question, a more specific, when you're next available, and he gave like the official truthful answer rather than like the week schedule, or whether or not it was something that got realized. I have no idea. But either way, she came upstairs, and I was still again recovering headspace, like I said, and then says to me, by the way, there's available space, tomorrow at such and such time. Would you like to take that? Like, I guess. I'm not going to turn it down, but the reason I don't directly ask for those, for a time immediately afterwards, is because I know that every driving instructor, every driving examiner is super backed up. So I would never ask specifically for him to make room for me, not only next week, because I was already paged in for that, but also, one extra day, because that could go to somebody else who maybe hasn't got those lessons, because it was a while before we were able to even get him to instruct me specifically. That's why I started those everyday lessons to begin with. So yeah, I would never ask that specifically, but again, if it's offered to me, kind of like with the Gacha review streams actually, I don't tend to ask people to join as guests, but if they want to join as guests, I will allow them to do so. As long as there's a maximum of 2, because, good grief. Or, to the creator, you know the rules. So yeah, I don't turn down when it's offered, but I would never ask myself, is the point. But yeah, because I didn't ask myself, I didn't turn it down, and I had that lesson. So, yeah, today is, I guess an off day, because it seemed like, my mum realised that I might have been waiting around for her beforehand, but I said, you know, not necessarily. You know, if you've decided that, you know, today's just a Walking Wednesday day, then that's fine. That's fine by me. Because again, I would rather, you know, I prefer them not to be all the time. So yeah, when I get back, I'll probably be able to crack on for the most part. I'll finish what I was doing before I got called downstairs to say goodbye to one of my aunts. You know how that goes. So yeah, it seems like you know, holiday's well and truly over in that sense. So yeah, for the next month I'll probably be applying for visas, looking for accommodation, and doing more driving lessons, because my actual test is on the 29th. I'm not advocating for saying like, oh yeah, you know, scale these down significantly or anything. It's just because obviously within the less than a month that I've got left, you know, there's still a few cracks to iron out, or I guess, you know, bits of practice to get in. On Monday, the instructor said that he didn't, apart from roundabouts, which I was able to improve on the next day, there wasn't anything specific that he thought I needed to improve on. Then the day after that, I had like more of an off day. Not sure because it was like earlier or something, or just busier roads, but I felt like I was stumbling a lot more. I will say I've forgotten a lot of the stuff I used to worry about. But yeah, see how things looking up. And I have to leave you because my storage has not been fixed yet, so until next time,